All right. Hello and welcome to Up at Noon Live at 5. I'm Brian Altano. That's Max Scoville. It is so good to see you all again. We took a couple weeks off because of event season, Gamescom, and a whole bunch of other nonsense. But we're back on track for this foreseeable future, I believe, until something else goes awry. As I said, I'm Brian Altano. That's Max Scoville. We have a very exciting show for you planned today. We have tons of toys.
There's a bunch of stuff going on. There's a lot of we got some really sort of weird, sad news today. We found out that the Batman shooting has been derailed because Robert Pattinson allegedly has COVID, which sucks so much. And then we also found out which is sad on a much different, like less serious level, but Taco Bell is discontinuing the Mexican pizza. So it's kind of sucks to get that stuff back to back. But we got some good news, which was a whole bunch of Mario stuff from a Nintendo Direct that happened first thing this morning. So we're going to talk about some Mario stuff. Before we get started, I want to give a shout out to Mark Medina, who's been doing some amazing speedrun content for IGN, and he's going to be taking over IGN's Twitch channel, just the Twitch. That's not what it's called. It's just the Twitch/IGN, not just the Twitch. I'm sure somebody has that. But he's going to be on there, and he's going to be, I think, trying to speedrun Mario 64. So go check that out. That'll be from 7 p.m. Pacific to 8:30 tonight. And go say hello and call him Super Markio. He loves that.
He does love that. Mark did some streaming of Super Mario 64 speedrun stuff with speedrunners, but also I've just watched him in the office back when that was a thing that we shared. And he's phenomenal, and he's a great host and just super fun and lovable. And I love watching this dude play Mario 64, which is one of my favorite games of all time, which made today even better because when I first woke up this morning, very early, I got a little present, as many of you did, from Nintendo, which was the Super Mario 35th anniversary Nintendo Direct. This has been long rumored for a long time that Nintendo would do something big for Mario's birthday. They've been like trickling out stuff here and there. We've talked about the Mario Lego sets in the show, the NES Lego set, there a bunch of just weird little drops here and there. They're doing some Puma shoes and stuff like that. But the big news out of this was obviously they were bringing a bunch of classic Mario games Switch for the very first time. There will be a 3D All-Stars collection, which is essentially the sequel to the Super NES game that happened ages ago, which compiled all the NES games. This one has Mario 64, Mario Sunshine, and Mario Galaxy. Just the first one, not the second.
No, this is all really good news, but from the sound of things, people have some questions, and you have some questions in particular, right?
Yeah. So, I was scratching my head after this, so I put together a list of 10 questions that I have after the Super Mario 35th anniversary Nintendo Direct. Number 1, why is the 3D collection disappearing in March 2021? There is no logic behind this. This is one of those sort of like 1990s Disney Vault type things where they go, hey, Cinderella's coming out on VHS for like 2 weeks, but then it's going away forever. This is a bizarre thing to do in a age where a significant amount of your audience is buying something digitally, because delisting something from a digital shop means nothing. It almost entirely lines up with their fiscal earnings of next year, which feels kind of gross. I'm really excited for this collection. I think it's awesome. I think these 3 games, getting to play them again for the very first time or for the 5th time for many people is going to be a big deal. But having to sort of force people to rush to buy these things in the next few months during a time where people's wallets are already a little strapped is pretty skeevy.
Do you think that we're going to see a situation, if these do in fact get delisted and taken away forever, where people are putting them on Switch and then selling Switches with these installed, like we saw with PS4s running PT?
Yeah. My bigger theory here is that they will start to roll out N64 games in Nintendo Online, and so delisting an option to get Mario 64 will force users to buy into the online ecosystem. Secondly, they can also break these games out and sell them piecemeal for $20-$30 each, which they'll also do. That's a very Capcom thing to do. And you and I both bought Resident Evil 4 on Switch when it was at a high price, as the man says. And suckers, that's what we are. We make stupid decisions.
One of these games that's on here is Super Mario Sunshine, which was originally for the GameCube, which had a slightly different sort of controller setup than the Switch does, which brings us to our next question.
Yeah, so the GameCube famously had analog triggers, which Nintendo's weirdly moved away from over the years. Analog triggers are most importantly used in racing games. Forza uses them. They let you basically just like there's a significant amount of push that you can give into a trigger that will allow X amount of sort of movement or action to happen. And in Super Mario Sunshine, which famously allows you to power hose graffiti all over a fun vacation island. It uses those a lot. Switch doesn't have those, so they're going to have to find some way to replicate that. That hasn't been confirmed exactly how that's going to work, but we'll see. Third question: Super Mario Galaxy is coming to Nintendo Switch, which is great because Nintendo Switch has Joy-Cons, which you can break off and use pointer controls, which let you move around and collect things. That was a big thing. It was the Wii Motion or Wiimote controls. But the Switch Lite doesn't let you do that. So you would have to buy a second set of Joy-Cons for this. I was reading in the fine print somewhere on like the Nintendo UK website that you'll be able to sort of mimic this with a combination of like touchscreen and trigger stuff. But it seems like one of those things where like maybe Nintendo could have kept this one in the oven for a little longer and figured out a way to make this a dual analog game or something like that. But either way, it's a little odd. Number 4, we got this thing called Mario Kart Live Home Circuit, which basically turns your living room or kitchen or basement, garage, backyard into a fully playable Mario Kart game, which is kind of insane because it's a toy Mario Kart with a camera on the front that scans your room almost like a Roomba, and you can use it to compete against up to 3 other friends and shoot items at each other and stuff like that on Switch. So it's them dabbling the toys to life once again, sort of deeper and deeper than they've ever been before.
This is like augmented reality laser tag drone racing kind of. Like this is nuts.
It's kind of cool. That said, a lot of people live in apartments or they live in carpeted places. Will this work on carpets or do I have to move? Like, is this one of those things that I can just kind of like whip around in the kitchen? Matt Kim, who writes news for IGN, was like, the only track that would work in my apartment is Baby Park, which is, famously this tiny little loop that you just go over 100 times until you're done. This toy looks super cool. I'm definitely in that thing where I'm too old for it. My kid's too young for it, but we'll probably still buy it and drive it around.
Well, we'll be talking about it regardless.
Yeah. Next, what the heck is Bowser's Fury? So Super Mario 3D World, one of the best games that was sort of landlocked on the Wii U, is coming to Switch with some upgrades. Mario runs a little faster now, as do his weird cat friends. But they added this new thing called Bowser's Fury, which almost looks like this like vaguely open world-ish evil version of 3D World. We know nothing about it. This game's not out until February, so we have a lot of time to sort of theorize about it and figure out what's next. But either way, I'm excited for it. This is one of the best games on.
This sounds at the very least a little bit more ambitious than just doing a straight port like we've seen with Mario Kart 8 Deluxe. It seems like they're actually kind of tacking on some new content, which is cool.
Yeah, for sure. Next up, here's the thing that got announced today that I have no use for that I will still buy. They are making a Super Mario themed Game & Watch. It's gorgeous. It's like gold and red, like the Famicom colors and some of the original Game & Watches. But it has NES ROMs on it, which is weird because that's not how the Game & Watch worked. It's $50, and it plays the original Super Mario Brothers, the Lost Levels, which was essentially Mario 2 in Japan. And it also has a clock function, which the original one did. So yeah, you can use it as an alarm clock, which is super cool. Which I imagine it has a little kickstand on the back too. But the weird thing is that they made a Super Mario Game & Watch back in the day. It was baby blue, and it had this like sort of game. It had a Mario style game on it, which was a platformer, where these sort of little black LCD platforms would pop up, and you'd run through them and try to survive, and you'd fall.
It's got ball though, right? You get to play ball.
It's got ball with Mario's head on it. Everybody loves to play the ball.
Who doesn't love ball?
Next up, the 3D World Amiibos got announced, and they look like cake icing. Like it looks like this weird textured. You know that stuff? Like it's not even real cake icing. It's those like things that they
Yeah.
sell that you put on top of cakes. Like
Yeah, like it looks like with like a little like sugar figurines or
Yes.
stucco, or
Yeah.
it actually reminded me immediately of the Mike Myers Cat in the Hat movie, which is not a thing that I like to think about.
That's so true. Like like the hair feels thick and wet and glued, right? Yeah, it's not great. Next, this question: why won't you just let me be excited for this? This has been a terrible, terrible year, and I know a lot of people are justifiably saying that this is a lazy, low-effort port to port all the 3D Mario games to Switch. Not even in widescreen, not even with like massively updated texture packs or anything like that. Just those games together on one cart. But so what? I love those games, and this year sucks so much ass.
Did they say the price for it yet?
It's $60 for all 3 games combined, which is fine. Yeah, it's like it's not great, but it's
still a lot of games there. I don't know.
I thought they were going to sell them for $60 each because I've basically been in this abusive relationship with Nintendo for so long that I'm used to them doing that.
Yeah,
they're doing that with Pikmin.
Yeah, I mean, it would be nice if they were a little bit tidied up, but you're right. It's like it's something to look forward to. Like,
just let people have this. It's like, this morning was like this little just like sliver of serotonin. I held it like a match in the darkness, and the warmth glowed across my face until it burned out, and I consumed that heat alone. And you can't take it from me. So just let me have it.
Okay, well that brings us to our next question.
Yeah, why do I keep rebuying Super Mario Bros. Over and over and over again? And will it fix me? I don't think it will, but they keep putting this game out. They're making a new one that's basically like a Tetris 99 version of Mario Brothers, but it's like you're competing against all these other people. They put the Lost Levels out, or the Super Mario All Stars, and then there's the Game and Watch thing. I bought this game so many times, and I just keep doing it, and I don't know why. What is that? Is that a definition of insanity? And number 10, what is wrong with me? What is it? Like what
you gotta I don't know. You gotta hold on to that little thing to make you happy sometimes, I guess,
Yeah.
It's been a year,
Yeah, but even then when it wasn't, I would do this. So
yeah, I don't know, you're really Italian.
That's part of it. I mean, but he's a stereotype. Like shouldn't even be condoning it really, but it's But yeah, so
you like
Super
Mario, so that's
happy birthday, Super Mario, the 35th.
Yeah. Mario should probably go get a prostate exam.
Yeah, you know who else gets old is Turtles.
Turtles get very old. Yeah. So NECA, our friends at I think NECA is actually an acronym. It's like the National Entertainment Collectibles Association or something. But for the most part, they just are a toy company. They sent you a bunch of 2-packs. I guess 2-packs of the Ninja Turtles, which I think is that honestly, I'm always mad that you have to buy 4 of the Turtles. Whereas if you buy 2-packs, that seems more manageable. Are these Target exclusive, or are they?
These are Walmart exclusives. And so the story with these were originally Comic-Con exclusives, I believe. They were convention exclusives. You could only get them in a 4-pack, and they came in a huge box. Most recently, they did the convention exclusive 4-pack of the coming out of their Shell Tour toys, which were awesome, but a little off model for what the Ninja Turtles you remember from the films. And so these are based on the original 1990 costumes from the original live-action Turtles movie. They're really, really, really awesome. These are going in and out of stock at Walmart, so hunt them down if you can find them. Like I said, they come in these 2-packs here, which are really cool because it's Leonardo and Donatello and Mikey and Raph, which I always paired those in my brain.
I think it's because they're the closer color palette, really.
Yeah, and I think that thematically they sort of fit because you have the party guy and the depressed guy, and you have the goofy scientist and the leader. I feel like 2 of those are really more emotional teenagers than the other 2.
I feel like we're kind of like a Raph and a Mikey, and I don't know what the Donatello and Leo counterparts to us would be.
The best
they probably
thing
have
you and
real jobs.
Is I think we repeatedly take turns being Raph and Mikey. And it's almost never at the same. Well, sometimes at the same time. So yeah, the packaging is interesting because it comes with this weird cardboard sleeve of a sewer backdrop. But yeah, they come with multiple accessories. Obviously, they're iconic weapons, which if you don't know by now, I don't know what you're doing here. Pizza slices, they each get one. Alternate hands, which are doing all sorts of fun things, like thumbs up, and the closest you can come to a Ninja Turtle middle finger. And also alternate bandanas, which are really cool because, like, you know, some of them look like they're draped down, like you see in the movie when they're kind of just sitting there solemn. And others are kind of flying in the wind in case they're, you know, doing some action stuff. So
yeah, these are gorgeous. NECA makes a ton of like really good collectibles, and I feel like it took like for a minute they were only making 18-inch tall turtle figures in this scale because of some weirdness because Playmates had the license, but more recently they're doing stuff like this, which is really nice to see.
Yeah, I will say like the paint on them is awesome. The sculpts are awesome. The joints are like a little tough. You got to kind of wiggle them around a little bit to get them where you want them. But posing these guys are super fun. They just look awesome on the shelf, and I'm really, really happy that these are becoming more sort of accessible to collectors and turtle fans. I would like to see distribution get to a point where you could walk into a Walmart and anybody could buy these, because everyone like our age, younger, a little older, has tremendous nostalgia for this specific look of the Ninja Turtles. And we've gotten so many reissues of the sort of like Playmates versions, and I'm really happy we're getting ones based on like the old rubber suits. So yeah, go check these out. These are in Walmart. There's the extra hands, pizza slices, and bandanas. And yeah, good luck hunting them down. There's a website called Brickseek, which you can use to sort of hunt down hard out of print stuff. It was originally launched for Lego, but if you plug in your favorite action figures in there, you'll find them. So good luck.
Nice. So what else are we talking about? We got other toys to talk about? I think we do.
Yeah, Max, you got some McFarlane DC toys, right?
Yeah, our friends at McFarlane, who've been taking very good care of us, sent over these Dark Knight medals. Bats. They're either Batsmen or Batmans or Batmen. But there's a few different variations. I haven't been up on comics lately, or at least not the insane stuff that's happening over with the Dark Knight's metal side of things. But this is actually this is the Grim Knight, who is basically Batman with a whole bunch of guns. He's got a whole lot of guns on his back. I feel like he's definitely taken some cues from the Punisher.
Oh, damn.
There's definitely like an early 90s Image Comics amount of guns there. And then more recently, in the sort of Dark Knight's metal run, they've been doing a lot of really bonkers stuff with different Elseworlds, Infinite Earths versions of Batman. So there's the Doomsday Batman, who's from Earth -1. This is a really cool toy. This feels the first few waves of the DC Multiverse stuff McFarlane was doing, I was kind of worried because it felt like a little flimsy. I wasn't wild about some of the proportions or sculpt, but I feel like they've definitely gotten it kind of locked down. This is just a good, fun to pose, chunky toy. His toes move.
He looks like he's made of like cinder blocks. I love that toy.
Yeah, and so the logic is
heavy?
like it's pretty heavy. You could probably give somebody a concussion with this. I actually dropped I dropped this dude on my foot, and his ears went in the top of my foot. I was wearing a sock, and it just like jammed in there, and that hurt a lot. But yeah, the logic with this one is, here's an alternate, Elseworlds version of Earth or whatever, where it's the two people who could kick Superman's ass, which is Doomsday and Bruce Wayne fused together in one guy. And then on a different Earth, I believe this is Earth -32, I think, there is a version of Bruce Wayne where his parents are murdered, and he gets the Green Lantern ring. He gets to be the Green Lantern. Come on, just show the toy. It's just so annoying.
There we go.
Yeah, so this is good. He's this nightmarish, like Lovecraftian bat projection here.
Dude.
But yeah, the whole thing is it's like, what if instead of having the love and emotional support of Alfred Pennyworth, what if instead he just had the Green Lantern ring, and then he fell into the void of doubt and self-regret and all that. And then there's also this is Cyborg Batman. Like if Cyborg was basically working on a Batman AI, and then it became self-aware and evil and used nanomachines to form tentacles to kill people. And they call this one
I love that toy.
The Murder Machine. So these are just like, I think there was a second where I was like, I saw these designs and I was like, oh God, what's going on over there? What are they doing with these things? But it's totally Greg Capullo and Scott Snyder just having fun. Like they're basically making like mashup Batman just going crazy with it. I should probably check out these comics, because apparently they're just like, it's like when like little kids play with toys, they're just going completely bonkers and playing around, having fun with it. And yeah, I'm really stoked to see McFarlane kind of pumping out this many like really crazy designs this fast. And they've shown no sign of stopping anytime soon. I kind of hope we get some more retro stuff, because I'm at that point where I'm no longer like one of those hip young teens who's up on what's actually current and happening. I want the old things that remind me of the olden days, but
right.
You know, we'll have to wait and see about that. But yeah, one thing I love is the Green Lantern one comes with a little base, which is just a nice touch. They all come with bases for just standing, but any of them that are actually in like a flying scenario get like a nice clip base where you can have them perched up on, which is a good touch. These are actually not out yet.
Oh, really? Interesting.
I was going to say these are up for pre-order on Walmart. I think they're going to be everywhere, but they are about $20-$25 a pop. You can pre-order them on the McFarlane website, but they're supposed to start shipping at the end of this month or sometime in October. And there's plenty more coming after that. So that's keep an eye out.
I was going to say, I really love the way they do the sort of metallic plastic. It's got to be like a specific type of paint, like especially on that Green Lantern Batman right there. It just pops, like the colors
so
look really good.
Yeah, it's like a slight gloss. There's like I wonder what this does under blacklight. Actually, this is cover my face. Show the doll, for God's sake. Just show. You're embarrassing me. Show the doll. Show the doll. Don't look at me. Look at the doll. Show him.
There we go.
Is it doing it? There we go.
So yeah, shout out to McFarlane for sending these over. These are really, really cool. I'm like, I get a little sort of like perturbed by the sort of like aggressive Joker stuff they do, but some of this like sort of weirdly diagonal variant Batman stuff is very sort of nostalgic to me as somebody that grew up buying the old Kenner stuff that was off model, but also super fun. I was thinking about that same thing, where this feels like really realistic, badass versions of those kind of like weird variant toys we'd get. Yep. I think NECA did that for a second, where they put out it was like a scuba Batman or something that was meant to be kind of a nod to the old like Batman Returns toy line. But I kind of hope McFarlane starts getting weird with it. They just announced they're going to be doing chase variants. They're going to be doing like bronze colored Joker figures that are limited to a certain amount, and maybe they'll send us one of those. But yeah, in the meantime, these are pretty cool. So while we're still talking about toys, we like to talk about toys a whole lot. There's a lot of toys that we want to buy, and sometimes we buy them. I actually just got one that I was excited about for a while, which is a very stupid esoteric thing, this is Brett from Alien. This is Harry Dean Stanton's character, who's like the complaining hungover guy who goes looking for Ripley's cat and then gets killed by the alien. He's the first guy who gets killed by the adult xenomorph. And he's got his cattle prod. He also comes with the motion sensor that's just like this funny little box. But yeah, I've wanted this figure since they announced it, because Harry Dean Stanton is just amazing. And there's really not a lot of him to collect. So I was like, he's like a hungover dude in a Hawaiian shirt who hates his job and is just complains a lot and then gets killed in a hallway. And it's like, that's a good touch. So I'm into that, but I figure we could take a look at some new figures that are coming out. They're not out yet. But we want to show them off to you. Yeah. Let's start things off. This is a brand new Marvel Legends Doctor Doom that they just announced. I distinctly remember, this is actually like, I should have had a picture of this, but this was, this card art is based on the original Toy Biz action figures they put out for the very, very bad Fantastic Four cartoon show from 1994. And I went to a KB Toys in somewhere in, I want to say it was the Arsenal Mall in Watertown, Connecticut. And it was like my special treat. And I got my saved up my allowance for 2 weeks. And I got to buy this awesome Doctor Doom, who I think like he came with just a large gun, and he had an action feature where his hand would punch out. Like his wrist would just like, it would just go out like an inch. It would just go, which didn't make any sense because Doctor Doom doesn't really do that. But they've recreated that card art, and they've got a brand new Doctor Doom figure who comes with like spell books and funny fingers. And what is that thing? What is that like scarab looking thing? I don't even know what that is. Is that like a potion? Maybe? I don't know.
But yeah, anyway, he's got his jetpack. Doctor Doom is such a completely ridiculous, hilarious character, and I cannot wait to see how they try to incorporate him into the MCU, because he's like, first of all, he's not a doctor. Like, part of his origin story is he dropped out of school and did not get his doctorate, whereas Mr. Fantastic has a PhD, but he goes by Mr., which is weird because most people who have PhDs do prefer to be referred to as doctor. So I don't know. Anyway,
I love the jetpack on this toy. I just pre-ordered this too. You just put me onto this, but you can pre-order this at bigbadtoystore.com right now. It's sold out in other spots, but it's
it was up on Hasbro Pulse, but they have since sold out, and it's on a few other sites. But you can find it if you look, and it's supposed to come out, I think, later this fall. But moving on from that, I actually just pre-ordered a different version of this. This is the Medicom Mafex Dark Knight Returns Carrie Kelly and Bruce Wayne, Batman and Robin 2-pack, which I'm a little bit irked just got announced because I'm still waiting on the pre-order from... I pre-ordered a different version of this. It's like just the black and gray costume version of him from the same line. And I guess I'm glad I didn't get the blue one, because now maybe I'll jump on this, but like, I don't know. This is just gorgeous. It's like you can see this is a toy designed to be like, you can recreate the poses from the comics like very easily.
Yeah, look at that.
Just so... Like, I love they got her awkward little run.
And I want that Batman. I've been rewatching a bunch of Batman in the animated series, and I watched Mask of the Phantasm the other day just because it's been forever since I've seen that movie. And yeah, I need another Batman toy.
Yeah, so. This is Mafex is like they're a very good toy line. I think I have their Boba Fett. I don't think I have anything else from that line, but I've been waiting for like a really good Batman that I'm into, and I love Dark Knight Returns, so I'm like super all over this. But yeah, it's just gorgeous. Like, it's a really good figure. Moving on, our friends at Super 7, we've done videos with them before. They just launched their Back to the Future 2 reaction figures, which are currently up for, I think they're for sale. I think they're out. But yeah, if you want to celebrate basically living in the timeline where Biff got the almanac, you can do that by getting, different versions of Biff Tannen and different versions of Marty McFly. And here's what they all look like together.
I'm almost definitely going to get the Marty McFly with the hoverboard toy, because I just love that. Like, that's such a fun design to me. And like, I've been on the fence between like the Hot Toys Marty McFly in this, in this style is like the closest I'm kind of pulling the trigger on one of these. This is one of those movies where I know it's not as good as the first one, just like Bill and Ted's Bogus Journey, but I like it better because it's more weird.
That's not fair, because Back to the Future, the first one, is just such a phenomenally good movie that like nothing, I don't think anything could realistically top it. But I feel like Back to the Future 2 manages to kind of like, it carries it. Like it keeps up the momentum. Also, I think it's funny how he looks kind of like Bobby Hill. Yeah. Like, they all kind of look like King of the Hill designs. Like, he definitely looks like, hey, Dad, I got a hoverboard. Great Scott, Bobby. Moving on. I feel so bad for you, man. So you love Ponda Baba, you love Bib Fortuna, and this is 2 for 2, where Gentle Giant, who makes these awesome mini busts, has basically hidden it in a super limited edition premier, like, golden collectible guild secret clubhouse membership thing. Like, they made a Bib Fortuna figure you really wanted, but you can only get it if you're part of their like member program, which is really only for diehard collectors. And now they're doing it with Ponda Baba as a mini bust, who's got, as you can see, the bloody arm stump that comes off,
which I love. Yeah, and I'm not like super into busts in general, but I like mini busts because they go down to the waist, which is weird. I hate toys that stop at the shoulder for some odd reason, but this is like a half an action figure, and that's a cool thing to put on the shelf.
They do a good job with like the interchangeable parts. Like, I've got a couple Boba Fett's kicking around that have like different arms you can put on. Big Tasty in our YouTube chat says that he got the Mafex Hush figure, which I also was eyeing, but then I held out for the Dark Knight Returns. If you want like the kind of classic Jim Lee design, that one's also a cool option. But
if anybody watching got the Gentle Giant Collectors Guild Jumbo Bib Fortuna, and you don't want it, I will buy it off of you. Like, I go on eBay like once a week and I type a series of insane words in, hoping to yield results, and nothing happens. It's just a larger scale of basically the old Kenner stuff. You have a Boba Fett, I think.
Yeah, that one's like, they've re-released Boba Fett a million times, but they haven't done that with Bib, which is like infuriating. Maybe they'll do another one, but But who knows?
I hope
Anyway,
so.
this is like again. This is like we said. These are toys that we're specifically excited about. This is not like the top 7 toys coming out this year. This is like we have brain damage. Here's the things that bring us joy during this dark year.
Highly curated list. Yeah, this
is
caught
weird
my
as
eye
hell.
Immediately, I went from being like whatever on some of the Gremlins toys to getting that Olympics Gremlin for Comic-Con, and then all of a sudden totally falling in love with how weird this line can get. So yeah, this is the back to school Gremlin. He comes with a small gizmo lunchbox, which is incredibly meta, this weird little sweater, the baseball cap, the bus stop sign, and some school books, and also a catcher's mitt and a ball, so he can, throw around the old ball with his dad, I
love that they have like made every possible variant of those freaking Gremlins, and now they're like dipping into like esoteric newspaper ads for Gremlins, where it's like, oh, the Olympic Games, come in, or like, oh, hey, see it again before you hit the books. And like, they've done a little bit of Gremlins too, but I feel like they haven't really fully delved into that. I don't know.
Yeah, that's definitely kind of untapped, but they got in there a bit. There's a lot of cool stuff. Like, and Gremlins 2 is a good point. That's another one where I'm like, I know that the first one is theoretically a better film. The second one is more fun because it's more weird.
I'm with you on that. Yeah, here's another picture of him. I hate this, actually. I'll be honest. That picture of him where he looks like he's going to eat the baseball, and that little gizmo painting. It looks like those, like, you ever see those like unofficial like movie posters from Nigeria or from like Eastern Europe, where just like some dude had like heard about the movie and he just like decided to paint it, and it's like, there's like a horse in Star Wars or whatever. You're like, what the hell is that? Like,
I mean, this kind of looks like if when you dress your dog Peppers in clothes. And he's just like, he's snarling.
I kind of see that. He does, yeah. And then moving on to, again, weird esoteric stuff from 40-year-old movies that only brain-damaged idiot adults like us are excited about. Great news, everybody. Everyone's favorite Star Wars characters finally getting a proper plastic treatment. That's right. I'm talking about the hallway from the Tantive 4. That iconic stretch of ship interior is finally getting the action figure treatment thanks to our friends at Hasbro. The Star Wars Vintage Collection, catering to the collectors who get excited about this kind of stuff, which also comes, you can recreate that scene from Rogue One with the hallway. Remember the hallway? Yeah. Everyone loves the hallway. And it comes with these things where Princess Leia like hides the flash drive in R2-D2. Yeah, the modems. Yeah. Everyone loves them. And then you can get more than one of them, but you can't get more than 2 because it's limit 2 per customer. This is $50. I think it's up for pre-order on HasbroPulse.com or something. But I definitely was like, hey, this would be a cool way to display some toys. And then I get to the second one, I'm like, yeah, that's too much. I won't trifle with that. But
I will say the one thing that this is missing is it doesn't have the ceiling, which if you do want to recreate the Rogue One Darth Vader down the hallway scene, the best part of that is when he force chokes the dude and slams him up against the ceiling. So you'll have to build your own.
I like this. Okay. It comes with a guy. It comes with one guy. If you want to recreate this scene, you need to get 3 of them, which means another guy. But if you want to have these 2 guys, you have to get 2 of them because they have an interchangeable head, which includes this weird Jim Varney-ass looking hat, which is weird because I feel like you don't see baseball hats in Star Wars. This guy's got one. I was just going
to say, Max, you and I have seen these movies thousands of times. I don't remember there being a baseball hat in those movies.
Yeah, this must be like one of those guys who's in the back. Like we know this stuff pretty well, but there's this level of Star Wars knowledge where it's like the people who can pinpoint the exact, like they can see a stormtrooper armor and be like, oh, that's one from A New Hope, or like that's the one from Rogue One. It's like little tiny differences in greeblies or like how the boots attach to the leg or whatever. And it's just like, it's one of those things where I'm like, I don't even know that.
Before we move on, there are multiple people in our chat talking about asking when we're going to talk about the Ninja Turtles. We did the show. This is like if you were watching CSI and you're like, how come they're not playing the theme song? Like if you show up in the middle of the episode, you're gonna miss some stuff.
Go like Lord Rash. Come on, talk about Ninja Turtle. Okay, rewind, dude. It's a live show. Like go back. Just go back. It's like you can just, I don't know, you're watching on YouTube. There's like the little button at the bottom where it's like a red dot and it says live. If you unclick that, you can drag the playhead around and you can fast. How do I have to explain how to use YouTube? I'm not mad at you or anything. I'm just being like, I don't know. Like if you got to a movie and you like stumbled in halfway through, you're like, hey, what's going on? Which one's the fast? Who's the furious? Yeah. No, funny story though. I remember seeing
there's the short film I filmed this morning in my living room.
I saw Secret of the Ooze in theaters when I was like, probably 6 or 5, and it had to be one of the first movies I ever saw. And I remember distinctly, I think it was after they get in that first junkyard fight and like the Shredder like hangs him in the net or whatever. I got up in the middle of the movie and I was like, wow, this is so exciting. And I started to leave. My mom's like, where are you going? And I was like, I thought it was over. And she's like, no, it's not over. That's not how movies work, you stupid boy.
Movie left.
I think I was like so excited. I was like, how are they going to possibly top that? And I just like started to leave.
Davey Yank 95 says, talk about those Teenage Mutant Tartarangas. We're doing it, man. We are.
I love the Tartarangas.
That's great.
I don't know if I can even show this. I got another weird collectible. Speaking of like old ass movies, I got the statue of Pazuzu from The Exorcist, which is that like Sumerian god, but he's got his little penis out. I don't know if I can show this. Like I gotta cover it up.
I had a teacher in middle school named Pizzuto, and I got those things confused a lot.
Yeah, I could see that. Oh, there we go. We're gonna censor his little weenie with the hot dog. God, Alexa, how did you have that? Are you ready? All right. No, it's going the wrong way. It's pointing up. You gotta cover it up. We're gonna get flagged. Rotate the wiener. Make it a little bit bigger. Yeah. This is a Sumerian fertility god for sure. Yeah. All right. Can you rotate it so it's a vertical hot dog? Because he's got sort of a vertical hot dog over here, if you know what I'm saying.
I'm hungry for hot dogs now.
Oh, we showed it. Oh, no, it's terrible. Anyway, if you'd like to learn more about our good Lord Pazuzu, check out the William Friedkin film, The Exorcist. It's a good time.
It is a really good movie. Hey, Flex, can I get a hot dog?
Here it comes. Oh. Num, 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 num. There it is. I love how we only do this. We get like the dumb hot dog joke on this stupid show.
You know, like how Spider-Man cartoon maker that is, which I love so much.
Oh, boy.
So we talked about Star Wars a minute ago. I'm a big sneakerhead. I generally gravitate more towards the Nike side. But Star Wars and Adidas have been doing cool stuff together for a very long time. One of the first pairs of kicks I bought when I first came to California was part of the original line of Star Wars Adidas collaborating, which was the sort of like the orange flight jacket Luke Skywalker Adidas high tops. They're really cool. I still have them. I don't know what to do with them. I want to sell them. But I had the Han and Carbonite ones, and I was just like, I'm never gonna wear these. I should just, and I sold them. I eBayed them for a few $100. Yeah, I should just do that. Just get rid of them. I'll trade somebody for a bit fortune if they got them.
That's a good deal.
And so Star Wars and Adidas are once again teaming up with 6 new pairs of shoes, all wildly different, which is really interesting. They sort of run the gamut from all of the different styles of Adidas that are both classic and incredibly popular now. In the modern times. So we'll start with the Luke Skywalker Stan Smiths. I thought we talk about these first because they're I would say the most simplistic. One reoccurring thing you'll see in this line is that they have this sort of plastic bracket that goes on the shoelace. You know, very 90s, but I kind of love and hate them. I will say that these are super clean. The colorways are awesome. I mean, the beauty of like Stan Smiths is that they're like so simple and like such an easy, like basic design. And I feel like these are just like, they just overdid it a tiny bit. Like the earlier Star Wars Adidas were like, it was like they reinterpreted iconic Star Wars stuff as shoes. Like they like one of my favorites is like the ATST pilot high tops, which just look like if you made high tops for the ATST uniform. But like, these are just kind of like more interpretive. I don't know. No, that's exactly. I think you nailed it. They felt a little more in universe. Now, these I think are really dope, but I hate what they did on the toe box. Like, I hate that sculpted Darth Vader. Okay, I'll be honest. These look like, and I know this is like a show where we talk about action figures and stuff. These look like little kid shoes for adults. Yes, that's exactly what they are. I think if they were simplified and they got rid, so they did the thing basically on the sides that look like Darth Vader's legs and arms. You know, that weird like ribbed. Yeah, that's awesome. Yeah, I mean it's funny because like the shell toe of Superstars is like, it already looks like Darth Vader's like chest piece. Yep. Yeah, like just do that, I guess. But yeah, we don't design shoes. Not crazy about that. I do like the colors. These are a little more sort of modern. Again, they put the huge pictures of the Stormtrooper on the tongue, but I think I really like on these is on the sides, on the soles. There's those blue lines that you see on the Stormtroopers' necks. That's awesome. That's a good touch. I like that a lot. I think that like otherwise they're pretty straightforward. This is Leia basically in her Hoth attire. These are to me like the most simple, but also kind of the most low effort. I don't like how it says Princess Leia on the heel. Like I feel like that's a little too.
Yeah, it's weird that it says Princess Leia and Ultra Boost.
Yeah.
These ones, these are
I'm kind of
a
torn
step
on
in the
these.
right direction there.
Yeah, no pun intended. So these are based on Lando Calrissian. They went with like a way lighter baby blue, or than the one, or like sort of like a sky blue, rather than the one he rocks. I would have liked if they had gone all in on his color scheme there, but I do like the gold insides. It is worth pointing out that a lot of the sort of the insides of these shoes have prints of Star Wars stuff. And the packaging and boxes in general are pretty cool. I like the gold accents on this one a lot. I'm not crazy about what they did with the over the laces, that like weird leather.
That's a weird one. I like that the little pictures of him on the tongue. It just kind of looks like Carl from Aqua Teens, like strapped into a weird car.
Yeah. Yes. Yeah. He looks like he's going on a roller coaster.
These ones.
And then finally, these are so close to being something I would totally rock every single day. These are the Boba Fett top 10 highs, which is pretty much the closest you can get to like a Jordan 1 in the Adidas style. They put this like weird weed bag pouch on the side, which is totally on brand for Boba Fett, but weird for a shoe, but also kind of dope. I'm like so split on these. I feel like with some very simple modifications, these would be like something I would absolutely rock every single day. Like with some skinny jeans or joggers or something.
The weird thing about this is like there's a specific style guide to Star Wars costumes, which specifically doesn't really have laces and doesn't really have like you don't see any zippers or buttons or anything. And it's like they're not quite playing with that enough. I don't know. It's anyway.
Yeah, Matt Diliberto on YouTube says, "Why is it a weed bag? I mean, you could put anything you want. You could put snacks in there. You could put money in there. Whatever you want."
Okay, I mean the answer is because what's that? There was that shoe brand in the early Yeah, which had like the pocket in the tongue where you'd hide your weed.
No, I had a thing called Ruse when I was a kid, which was they were high tops that had a pouch on the side that you could put coins in and stuff like that. And the joke back then was that people would hide drugs.
No, there was like another one that all like the reggae kids wore in the early aughts. Our producer's saying Chad Muska Osiris. I had a bunch of Osiris. They didn't have, I don't know if they had pouches in the tongue, but like Osiris were definitely they were on that. That was a shoe for people who did weed, I think.
Oh yeah, for sure. But yeah, those are hitting stores very soon, if not right now.
I thought those were UK exclusives.
Some of them are. Like the Boba Fett ones are.
Well, that sucks.
Yeah. Well, I mean, the thing about like buying shoes is that it's like pain in the ass for some odd reason.
Can you imagine if you could only buy like one size of action figure that worked? Like shoes are like that's annoying. I don't know. Like you got to buy shoes that fit, you know?
We spent like a significant chunk of this show talking about like, retail exclusive figures and stuff like that. So it's a problem for sure. Now, I'm a gigantic fan of horror movies, thriller movies in general. I think, Max, you and I have done a sort of like, we have a long history on the show talking about like really cool movies that we want people to watch. Because I feel like IGN.
Oh,
what's up?
Our producer is saying that he does not have B-roll for this. Do you want to hold off on this till next week?
Yeah, we'll hold off on this until next week because I want to.
Well, good thing
cool stuff.
We have all sorts of stuff prepared for that too.
We do.
We do. So, speaking of horror and unthinkable terrors, they're making a children's cartoon about Jurassic Park. That's coming to Netflix. It's called Jurassic Park Camp Cretaceous, and they just dropped the trailer for season 1, and it's just about children on Isla Nublar with like no supervision, and of course it's Jurassic Park, so all the dinosaurs are getting out. This is weird. This is a weird choice.
It looks immeasurably confused by a lot of what's happening here, but also really intrigued. The thing is, and I implore anyone watching this deep into a show that has been primarily action figure themed to put yourself in the shoes of a child every now and then when you see something that doesn't immediately click with your current old self and go, I don't really know about this, but what would I have thought when I was 12? And as somebody who woke up on Saturday mornings to watch Land of the Lost, like the weird 90s puppet version, I would have been completely into this.
No, I think it looks great. I think it looks great. It's just weird because like if they're like, what's Jurassic Park? And it's like, all right, here's this really upsetting movie from the 90s where like a lot of people die and the velociraptors are goddamn terrifying and there's a spitter and there's like, but I've been going to not going to the store a whole lot, but whenever I'm at Target, I always check out the toy aisle. And they've had like a surprising sort of boost of like Jurassic World, and then in parentheses Park figures, and a lot of them say Camp Cretaceous on there, and I'm like, who the hell is that kid? Like, who are these like little kids? And I didn't know that this was a show that was happening. I did some research into this, and this is actually this is not the first time they've tried to make a Jurassic Park animated series for children. Apparently, there's one getting kicked around way back in the early '90s. There's concept art for it. And it was going to feature the sort of principal cast of Jurassic Park. I don't know what they were going to do exactly, but like Steven Spielberg was basically like, he didn't want anything to do with it. He's like, no, there's too much merchandise. There's too much of this stuff happening already. And then there was, there was a toy line that was like, I want to say it was called Chaos Theory. That was a video game. There was like a, when they ran out of movies to make action figures of, and they were like, we made a new action figure line that's based on our imagination. They were trying to do a toy line or a cartoon show to go along with that, but that didn't happen. And so now this comes along, and it's like, I feel like it's just surprisingly cheerful for a show about reptiles that might want to kill you.
Yeah, I tweeted out or quote tweeted somebody who put up a picture of the Dennis Nedry action figure, which the first one they ever made doesn't look anything like him. It's like a guy in a green turtleneck with gloves on and sunglasses, and he's super skinny. And my friend RKG, who runs an awesome video game YouTube channel, go check him out, responded to me, and he was like, I've actually done way too much research on this. The original line of those toys was just based on like concepts and not the movie. So basically, it was one of those things where the toy line and the movie production were running parallel, but in different directions at the same time. And that
was the same thing we got with like Batman Returns, where there was a Robin figure, but he was based on the comics, or there was like a Penguin, but he wasn't based on Danny DeVito for whatever reason. Like, I don't know if it was likeness rights or.
I couldn't tell if that was like they didn't want to disturb children but I feel like you could have scaled that down and made something, right?
Yeah, it was a weird one.
But they weirdly course corrected that toy line a couple months to a year into Jurassic Park being a hit, and redid a bunch of toys and made them look more like their movie counterparts. So I don't know if they were basing things off of like descriptions in the books or however it goes, but either way, it is this weird.
Did you read Jurassic Park when you were a kid, right? Or
of course, yeah.
Middle school. So I remember probably the most excited I've ever been about any pop culture ever was in like 4th grade when somebody who read the book was like, you know what happens in the book compared to the movie? And I was like, no, what? And they're like, they nuke the island and what's his face dies and gets covered in compies and eaten. And I was like, also spoilers for like a 27-year-old book or whatever. But I was just like, whoa. And it was just like, I was like, the movie's messed up. It's super dark. And I was like, someone told me about the book. And I was like, that's even more upsetting. That's terrifying.
Which is weird because they implemented that scene in the cold open of the sequel, but not with John Hammond, but instead with a little girl.
Yeah, that was a weird call. And I read the second book too. I read both of these when I was like in college, but like the second book has like so much crazy stuff. Like there's like chameleon dinosaurs, which then didn't they try to incorporate that into Jurassic World or something?
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. There's a whole thing.
You texted me the trailer for this Netflix show, and my immediate reaction was like, is this canon? Because weirdly, everything Jurassic Park released like in live action form has been canon. Like there are repeated excuses to return to this cursed island and the islands around it, which is fun because it's fun for the whole family. And if spoilers for the last movie, but they open it up so these dinosaurs are everywhere. But this one implements a ton of stuff from the movies, including those weird spheres, zip lines, and stuff like that. And very clearly is not canon because there's no logical reason to send a summer camp full of like tweens into this place riddled with deadly beasts from a different era. Like
I think they're just having fun with it. I think this is going to be like, I don't know, kind of cherry picking the stuff that you can show people.
Mm-hmm.
Oh,
Which I'm into, honestly.
Junior Outlaws official. Never knew there was a book for it. Yeah, man. Michael Crichton, who wrote Congo and Sphere and Timeline and a whole bunch. He wrote the Andromeda Strain. He wrote a bunch of stuff. Michael Crichton was a prolific science fiction author, and Jurassic Park is one of the best. I would say one of the better adaptations from one of his books.
I'm legit floored that people didn't know that the Jurassic Park was a book. I guess it's.
Same with like Jaws. I mean, I would argue that like Spielberg, when he really sticks the landing, like he will make a movie that's better than.
Right.
Like maybe in a different way, but like it gets the job done.
I mean, I still haven't seen Ready Player One, probably never will, and haven't read the book, but I imagine that's better.
I wasn't wild. I read some of the book and I wasn't wild about really either. But anyway, let's move on. Let's talk about something very upsetting that's happening. That's going on in the world. They are making this whole thing called Star Wars: The High Republic, which is going to be sort of like a cross media thing. They're not making a movie yet, but it's going to be set, I think, 200-ish years before the prequels. So it's like when the Old Republic was still kind of going, and it's going to have.
This will interact with novels and comics and
maybe like maybe board games, like maybe mobile. I don't know what they're like. I don't know if this is going to be a full. Maybe I feel like action figures are kind of waning. They just definitely don't put out as many as they used to. But in any case, we're just getting these weird like concept art designs for some of the characters going to be showing up across, at the very least, books, comics. And because it is 200 years prior to the prequels, not a lot of familiar characters are showing up. But one of the older characters, obviously, is Yoda. So we got these concept art sketches of what Yoda is going to look like in the High Republic era. And they're interesting. I'm very kind of like torn on them. It's just like, it doesn't read as Yoda to me. He looks
way more like a human man, or like a Mo the bartender, or like there's this.
Who does the one? Let's talk about this. Who does the one on the left look like to you? Flex, if you could zoom in on his face, like let's like really pull this up and just kind of.
Yeah, I would say like just a real, like a Paul Giamatti.
Huh.
You know, like a little bit of that, and then we got.
Okay.
Okay.
Getting real close here. Yeah, so they definitely have like
a little bit of Corey Feldman.
They're also like, it's hard to draw. It's hard to draw faces. It's hard to draw like Yoda's face, but like I feel like these look like two different people.
They do look like
I don't think they are. I think they're both Yoda, but they're just different expressions. And it's weird because I was looking at this and they reminded me of two people specifically. The one on the left with the lightsaber, I immediately got I got some serious vibes. I think Flex is like recentering this here. I got some Michael Rooker vibes. Like I feel like he's got this like angry stepdad brow there.
You actually, so I gotta give you some credit here. This is probably the least angry photo of Michael Rooker ever.
I think people just don't upload those. I was like trying to, like, he looks very.
He's usually like he's simmering, and like in this one here, he just looks like he's like he got his cable bill and he's like, "You're charging me for stars? I don't watch."
There's also a lot of pictures of him like laughing, which is I think equally frightening. I've interviewed him and he's very funny. Like he's very silly. I talked to him about like Guardians of the Galaxy and he was just like hamming it up. And then this was at Comic-Con and then he proceeded to like he was just wandering around just shouting like, "I'm Mary Poppins," and just like he wandered into like our break room, I think, and just was like shouting that. And people are like, what are you doing here? But yeah, the other Yoda, I'm getting some serious like Ving Rhames vibes. Like he's got that side eye, like he's just like he's not having it.
It's the scowl too. He's got the side eye and the scowl is perfect.
Right?
Yeah. Yep. Definitely. I'm trying to think who else does that. That's sort of like that is a perfect Man,
I was
yeah,
trying to find, like, I mean, I think if I scrubbed through Pulp Fiction, I would find him making that exact face. But it's weird because, like, when I think Yoda, I don't really think Michael Rooker or Ving Rhames, and I'm trying to think, like, what is his attitude going to be like when
I'm
he's
getting,
when
I'm
he's
getting
only?
a little Sam Jackson there too on
I can
Yoda.
see that.
Yeah, especially Pulp Fiction era, like a young Sam Jackson. Weird thing about Yoda, or his species, is that we, for the longest time, only saw the old versions of them, and now we're getting concept art of the younger versions of them.
Well, this is weird because
And we know-
he's 600 years old.
yeah, and we know what a baby
like
one
ish,
looks
like ballpark. But like we know what a baby looks like. But also the baby is like 50.
Yeah,
So which means that like
there's hundreds of years of unaccounted information on this Yoda, which I feel like it has to be the money shot at the end of Mandalorian season 2 or season 5 or something.
They're going to fast forward 200 years.
No, I mean, when ultimately, like, the child returns to his peoples, you're going to see this island of multi-aged Yodas who are all different generations.
I don't want that at all. I don't want that one bit.
Where do you think this is going?
I don't know. I think they're going to give him to like the Secret Jedi or something. Secret Jedi Island. I don't know.
Well, we are going to check in with the chat with the last few minutes we have left in the show. If you have any questions for us, let us know. If you have any toys you're interested in, video games you're interested in. Max, you're not like a big old school Mario guy, but what was your take on?
Oh, I've been dying to play Super Mario Sunshine because I love pressure washing. I did. I didn't tell you this. I rented a power washer. It was great. It was so much fun, and I just effed up so much of my backyard because we got like painted concrete, and I just like stripped up a bunch of the paint and like ripped up the grout.
I didn't know you had painted concrete.
Well, you'll know now because it doesn't look like it's all messed up back there. Mm-hmm. Cut a hole in my porch with it. It was great. It's wild. I just stripped all the paint off of everything. The pressure washer is a beautiful machine, and I want to be Mario with that thing.
This is probably the first time in YouTube history I think where two adults discuss pressure washing over Super Mario 64 B-roll. But I'm into it. If anybody's bored, strap in because these men are only getting older. What was your intention when you were pressure washing the backyard?
Oh no, the house is just covered in filth and cobwebs, like specters and stuff. But no, back to Mario. Like the thing is like really, I think like basic platforming is not super fun for me because it's usually very like rhythm based, but I like 3D stuff because there's like a little bit more of a margin for like screwing up. I don't know, like I like that you've got, it's not like you've got 2 hits and you're down. You've got kind of a life bar. I love how gimmicky later Mario stuff gets. Like he's always getting new stuff. Like he's getting like like a hat that can turn him into a gun, or he's getting a pressure washer, or he's in space. Like
have you played Galaxy?
Like a little bit at my friend Rob's house in 2007, probably.
So I think your friend Rob is going to be stoked. I feel like most people named Rob, though, are just in a perpetual state of stokedness. But I feel like you specifically are going to really enjoy this game because it is very sort of bite-sized in. I mean,
it's like a little Prince game, right? Like you're going to small planets and just like messing around there.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm into it. I mean, like I played a bunch of Mario 64 when I was a kid, but I never had an N64, so it wasn't like I was like getting all the stars and finding the secret Yoshi on the roof or whatever. Like I didn't dig into it that deeply, but
you gotta be careful spoiling this game that people are just gonna be playing for the first time in 2 weeks. No, I'm very excited. This is coming out very soon. Robert.
Oh God, Joshua Pasqualito he said the little thing that comes with Doctor Doom is the ultimate nullifier. Thank you. That is. I appreciate you, Joshua. Thank you for saying that.
Robert Real says, do you guys ever showcase anime-themed toys, Nendoroids, PVC statues? We've done a little bit of statue stuff, and I've definitely talked about some Nendoroids here and there.
I've got some here. Let's do it. Let's party.
Yeah, I get into them a little bit. The Breath of the Wild Nendoroid was awesome, especially the one with the horse. Oh, those are
here. My band Presto vinyls of Oolong and Yajirobe. No, I have like a bunch of anime stuff, but Brian's not into anime, so we don't talk about that a whole lot. Oh, look at this. Check this. I almost said a swear word. Check this out. This is the best. This is Show the Thing. Focus on the thing. Just show it. It's Totoro driving a car. Look at that.
Dude, so...
Look at that. He's got a wooden car.
In the 80s, McDonald's made a bunch of Fraggle Rock Happy Meal toys that look exactly like that car. Have you seen those?
See this. I don't know if I never really watched Fraggle Rock. I like the song. Yeah, I got this in Japan at the Ghibli Museum. And Nendroids, I don't have any, but my wife does. She's got all the Yuri on Ice. Look at that. She's got these little ice skaters. She's got him kicking the other one.
Never seen that show, but that looks interesting.
They're in love, I think, and it's like cute flirting. I don't know. Maybe it's abusive. I'm not sure. Here's I got a lot. I mean, I got a ton of anime stuff. Here's one of my Gundams. This is the Master Grade GPO3S. Yeah, I don't know. We should talk about more anime stuff, I guess. Anyway,
I zoomed in on me when I was just like, that's one of my favorite faces to make. I endlessly make my wife crack up with this face. I just go,
yeah, you do that a lot.
just like, I'm interested and I'm listening, but also I'm dead inside.
I like this. This guy, Deadbeat Gamer, says, didn't own a Nintendo 64. LOL, IGN, fire this kid. Yeah, man, video games are a luxury. I grew up poor. I don't know what to tell you. There's a lot of people who didn't own every single system. We're not going to fire somebody because they didn't have like a Neo Geo Pocket Color because they somehow missed out on the thrills of Metal Slug as a young child. Like, get out of here with that. Yeah, I played a bunch of N64. I played a bunch of those games, but I'm also not on like a Nintendo show every week. We talk about all sorts of shit.
This is one of my favorite things I own. Max gave me this. This is a Jabba the Hutt mug. I've filled this up with liquid before, and like most obtuse mugs, when you go to drink from it, it like burps and spits in the air. You know, like when you drink out of those, like,
yeah, it's like the boot.
Yeah,
I'm drinking out of a Xenomorph right now, and I've got like an ice cold drink in here, and so it's like condensating, and now it looks like an actual Xenomorph. So we got, I'm looking for this cat. We're gonna find this cat somewhere. I'm like, oh no, it's the alien. It's gonna eat me. It's a little alien comedy for you.
What else do I have here? I have this Pee Wee Herman chair. That's a good time.
That thing is so upsetting. I hate the eyelashes on it.
I know, because you can't control them. They just sort of move on their own accord. Let's see. What else do I have here? I have this little Tintin I got in Brussels last year. When I bought it at the store, the lady was like, Tintin did not come from Paris. He came from Brussels. And I was like, okay, I believe you. There's a huge cultural war there over who has Tintin. And then
that's the funniest thing is I feel like a lot of people just co-opted Tintin as just like a tourist icon because he travels everywhere. Mm-hmm. They sell in Vietnam. They sell tons of Tintin shirts where it's like Tintin in Vietnam, and it's like, I don't think he went there. I don't think it was even called Vietnam when Tintin books were being published. Like I think it would have been like Indochina or something. But
yep.
Yeah, no, it's just he likes to travel.
Yeah, we have very dumb large buckets of toys.
What do we got? I got a bunch of stuff here. Here's this model kit of a Vespa, and I again cover my. Don't show me. Show the thing. Show. There we go. And I made it look like Akira or Kaneda's motorcycle from Akira. I made like just a bunch of.
Almost cursed again. That is so effing awesome.
That was an early quarantine boredom project.
Before the reality kicked in.
What else? We talked about that. We'll do some model kit stuff on the show. There's like I got a bunch of boxes of crap. Painting of a raccoon. Check it out.
That's a good one. I tweeted this yesterday. This is a 1989 Golden Books based on Zelda where they spelled Moblin wrong. They called him Moloblablin.
Oh, what the hell?
Yeah, this is a good
also,
one.
Why does he just look like a dog?
Best part about this is it involves crafting. There's a scene in this book where Link makes a leaf version of himself with a bomb head. And then
that's messed up.
Yeah, and then
that I feel like if they were,
I got his head. Oh, shoot, I'm gonna blow up.
I hope they put that in Breath of the Wild too. I hope that they steal some Metal Gear Solid 5 ideas and they have decoy links. And you can have just
wearing knee pads but no shoes. I gotta say that's a weird thing to do.
He looks like he does what's it called, roller derby?
Yeah.
Like he's wearing like a onesie and knee pads. That's an odd one. Anyway, we've done our show. We talked about all the things except for some of the stuff that we forgot to pull videos for. We'll talk about that next week. Stop doing that. Stop that. Put that face away. Yeah. Stop it. You got to stop doing that. I was seeing if the chat had any funny additional things to add in here. Oh yeah. L Hall said, "You guys have any Pokemon or Yu-Gi-Oh or Digimon cards?" We don't really mess with cards. We don't do that.
Yeah, I don't do that. Why would I have a Pokemon Digimon card? I'm not into that. I like things. They're totally cool for people that like them. But I like toys. Books, action figures, pirouettes, mannequins. All sorts of little figmentations of the mind, the aura.
Yeah. It's hard to display cards of any sort. Like you got to have binders, and at that point, why not just get books? Anyway,
what I'm really hunting down is I want a large ball where I can hide Link, and then I want to have these jowls like Ganon does here, where it looks like he got a carrot stuck in his mouth. And
that's horrible. Don't show people that. Don't show people that book. Put that book away. We got to finish the show. It's time to go have supper.
It is time for supper here in the medieval fantasy home. And so thank you so much for watching, and have a great night. And thank you for being here, because this was up at noon. Thank you to Flex for putting the show together. You are the glue, and we are the other parts of the thing you would have to glue. And thank you to the audience and the fans and the friends, really, all of you. And for those of you who were really wishing you saw some turtles today, good news, they're back.
Oh, yeah. I love them. Oh, look at those boys. That's the ones that I ship them, because they're responsible, unlike those other two.
You know who else ships them is NECA in a Walmart exclusive 2-pack, if you know what I'm talking about.
All right, that's enough. Good night.
I'll see you soon.